All right, welcome to the party, pals. GRC Mafia. Right out the gate, we're here to break down barriers, foster collaboration, and community, working towards a more secure future for everybody. Definitely a learning and growing environment. Now, we don't typically drop the stage links for these videos, but I definitely want everybody to feel comfortable to come up, ask a question, join the conversation, and so forth if you would like to. If you would like to come up on stage, just drop that in chat. I will be trying to keep the best eye I can on chat throughout the stream. And I have no problem with other people coming up to give your guys' take, ask questions, and so forth. If you would like to share your personal LinkedIn or other social media, you are very much encouraged to do so. The best place to do that is inside of our Discord server. The link's going into the chat as we speak. Definitely throughout the stream, ask questions, share resources, even if it doesn't pertain to exactly what we're talking about. Worst case scenario, we could circle back around to that or otherwise. Definitely community built, community driven. Don't share anything that you don't want to be public. If you happen to do so, reach out to me on Discord, LinkedIn, or contact@studygrc.org so we could figure out how to get that redacted. Also, a couple different like news related updates and so forth. So, of course, we have BDubs' website, brittwhite.io. Tonight, so every single Tuesday and Saturday, is the CISSP study group. I had posted earlier in just a little bit ago in the chat for that, that tonight, so 6 p.m. Central tonight, is secured network components. And then after that, after BDubs goes through and does the live stream related to that particular CISSP session, which is 100% free, definitely beginner friendly and so forth as well. Then everybody piles into the voice chat for that as well to ask questions, to talk about the different topics to more depth and so forth. Definitely a really awesome experience. And also this last one on Saturday, we actually ended up gifting away a free Study GRC t-shirt and voice chat. So, you know, you never know. Also, we have, after that session tonight for the CISSP, then PBO is going live. I believe tonight is one about guard duty again, or AWS 853. Yeah, so it's actually going to be about AWS Audit Manager with the 853. I'm actually going to go ahead and pull that up here in just a second. And of course, we have our website as well for the rest of the platforms that we stream to, our calendar with the most up-to-date information, and our resources page as well. You guys may be familiar that we recently updated our resources page to be a little bit more extensive. We ended up converting that over to a start.me page. Really looking for additional items to add on there. What are your guys' thoughts and opinions of it as well? Definitely give that a look. That link is in chat as well. We got Space Tacos. We got Cam. We got Josh. Bentech. Let's see. Space Tacos has taken a nap for lunch. I said lucky. Welcome to the party, pals. B-Dubs hopping in. GRC Mafia. Cam talking about, you know, food versus nap. Bam. But yeah, so I definitely wanted to let you guys know about all of the other value that's out there. So not only the free CISSP study bootcamp from B-Dubs, but then also PBO stream tonight, which he streams every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So definitely check that out. All of those different links are going in the live chat there. If you guys have any questions, definitely hop into the Discord server and so forth. And, you know, there's plenty of people who are more than willing to assist. You can also, of course, ask questions now. Let me go ahead and transition this over a little bit. So this is PBO's video tonight. So AWS Audit Manager, NIST 853 compliance, an awesome opportunity to go up on stage with PBO to ask questions in chat and so forth in regards to Audit Manager. Previously, he did a few videos on guard duty as well. Some really awesome information. And one of the best things that I found is like PBO will give himself a topic to discuss, but then you could really lead that conversation in to your own favor. So then you just ask PBO, oh, well, could you show me how this works? Or what if I wanted to do this, or this? And then you can get him on a good 4-hour video. So definitely highly recommended. And that's only in 8 hours. And it lines up perfectly with the CISSP study group. Take a 30-minute break, hop on the PBO stream. Bam. All right, so let me go ahead and transition this over. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to mention too is not only on our website do we have our calendar with the most up-to-date information. So like next month, we have our Thursday streams scheduled out, such as Ryan for High Trust Overview. So Ryan is actually with High Trust, and that's going to be a pretty awesome one on May 1st. We have Chris Hildago coming back for Data Governance, a primer pathway for GRC professionals. Then we'll have another talk about MITRE Atlas with Cameron, and with a panel discussion about AI and GRC, and then our open stage and our job readiness as well. The reason I wanted to throw that out there too is because this Thursday we have our job readiness here in just a couple days. And if you would like to, you can go over here, you can click on this envelope icon to go to our contact page, and you could submit your redacted resume. So all of this information is optional, and you can go through and anonymously submit your resume for review. So PDF format is required, and just make sure you redact the information. And I'll actually just drop a link directly to this page as well to make it a little bit easier if you guys want to go through and submit your redacted resume for the group resume review. Bam. All right, so let me go ahead and get this pulled up here. How's everybody doing? So we made it to Wednesday Eve at least. Brexy hopping in the Discord side, GRC Mafia. So we've pretty much covered a lot of the different policies already. I'm going to go ahead and transition over to this. I believe we had already covered discussed a little bit about the SANS templates already. I'm going to drop a link to this once again. I just wanted to provide a little bit of an overview on some of these different other policies that you could find out there as well. And this is also a really awesome resource for you to learn more about the policies. These are all available to download. Most of them you can download in PDF as well from SANS, which is a pretty well-known I mean, they have certifications, they have a bachelor's degree program, and they do a lot of different stuff. I was going to say education, but I think SANS goes well beyond just education. They do have like a membership thing, and they do all kinds of different stuff out there. So I kind of feel like, you know, it's not just education, but this is also a really good resource to look at. So acceptable encryption standards, we have artificial intelligence, acceptable use. Maybe we'll actually take a look at that one today, and a bunch of other ones. So let me go ahead and pull this up here. So like this is the artificial intelligence standard. We'll be talking more about the AI next month as well. And then there is also another one here that I came across that I thought was kind of interesting. Let's see. So this is one that we probably won't cover, but I did want to share this one as well. So this is literally from a educational department, policies and policy governance. And this is literally titled Policy on Policies. This was last revised in July 1st of 2024, issued out May 2nd of 2011. And it was reviewed August 8th of 24. So I just thought this was kind of interesting. So this is literally a policy on how they manage their policies and outline their policies, along with, you know, who's in charge, authorizations, revisions, all kinds of different interesting things around policies. I just thought it was kind of interesting for policies and policy governance department to be issuing out a policy on policies policy. So I'm going to drop that in chat as well. So this one that's on screen right now, I think that's just a fun thing to look over. Um, they do have, like need identification. When the need for new or revised policy is confirmed, the designated policy owner must complete the policy notification and assessment form linked in section 7. So there is actually a lot of really good information that's in here for policy management and development. I just thought it was kind of fun with the titles. Retirement and archiving. And this is not something that I've really seen in very many places. So this particular organization has a policy on their policy management and processes, whereas it seems like a lot of organizations, from what I've seen, is they run out of their change management process or otherwise. So they don't have a dedicated policy on the policy management side. And I find it interesting. I think this is actually something that more organizations should do. So this should be clearly defined, and there should be a policy management policy. I think that's a really good idea. Yeah, Cam's saying policies on policy is like stacks on stacks. Yeah, I mean, just looking at the title here, so literally policies and policy governance department, and then this is their policy on policies policy. So, yeah, that was the key thing that got my attention to start out with. Welcome to the Party Pal, PBO. But yeah, some of the key highlights that I just wanted to mention is these videos are primarily designed to talk a little bit more about the policy development and management side of things, and then also provide these different resources out to you as well. So like this artificial intelligence standard through the SANS templates that are freely available. I did drop that link in chat as well. I'll put that in the description following this live stream, so you can follow up with that as too. So this policy applies to all, company employees and affiliates. And this is a 14-page document, which seems kind of lengthy for an artificial intelligence standard. This policy is applicable to all directors, officers, board members, employees, contractors, representatives, affiliates, agents, and any person, entity performing services for or on behalf of XYZ. And then it also outlines who's responsible for the enforcement of this policy. So, responsible corporate officer. Now, something that just right off the bat is, it states at the top here for the scope, this policy applies to all company name, employees, and affiliates. But then in the introduction, then they're actually outlining in detail the employees, contractors, members, representatives, affiliates, agents, and any person, entity performing services for or on behalf of. I kind of feel like that should actually be in the scope. I'm kind of curious why it's not in the scope. It's under the safeguards introduction and not in the scope category. I also, especially for a 14-page document, I really like to see a table of context personally. These are a lot of my pet peeves. But also, what are some of the different things that you guys are noticing? It's a good idea to have that listed, though. Are you talking about, which part are you talking about in particular, Cam? Are you talking about the policies on policies? Or are you talking about the scope for the safeguards? Some of the different definitions, they do start this one out with the definition. So artificial intelligence, or AI, means the use of machine learning technology, software automation, and algorithms to perform tasks and make rules or predictions based on existing data sets and instructions. I personally feel like that is overly technical off the bat. I think that I would probably reword that personally for more plain language, as we had discussed the other day. Because Steve over in accounting, or, Joe for customer service may read that and have absolutely no idea what the hell that means. Also, there's a really cool video I came across before about how I think I shared this in Simply Cyber's Discord server. Let me try to find it real fast, because I did find it interesting on the fact that we utilize the term AI for artificial intelligence. However, that's really not true. I think it's a really good video to watch. I think it was only maybe 20 minutes long or so. But it was really kind of interesting, outlining how, here it is. I'll go ahead and pull this up in just a second. So this video right here, I highly recommend. It's 31 minutes in length, and it's talking about Gödel's theorem debunks the most important AI myth. AI will not be conscious. And so this is like a Nobel Prize winner. He's some professor of some sort and so forth. But it's very interesting because they talk about AI and the actual definition of such, and a lot of like the concepts around it. So I wanted to throw that out there as well, since we're going over this AI policy. Even though AI as a term is definitely widely used, I feel like at this point we kind of have to still stick with the term AI, because if you just go around calling it ML for machine learning, people may not realize what you're talking about. They're not going to first think of ChatGPT or otherwise. Artificial Intelligence Committee, or AI Committee, is an internal committee tasked with reviewing and approving uses of AI. So they are initiating a committee here to review and approve the uses. Artificial Intelligence System, or AI system, means software that is developed with one or more techniques and approaches listed in Annex 1 and can, for a given set of human-defined objectives, generate output such as content, predictions, recommendations, or decisions influencing the environments they interact with. Closed AI system. So closed AI system means an AI system where the input provided by one user is used to train the AI model. Input data from a user is isolated from other users, and the data is considered more secure. Okay, so I think that's a little confusing as well, because it's talking about closed AI system, which my assumption would be input data from the user is isolated from other users, and the data is considered more secure. But that first sentence there seems to contradict it, meaning where it says the AI system where the input provided by one user is used to train the AI model. Embedded AI tools. Government means the government of the country or subdivision thereof. Government entities and so forth. Guiding principles. So now they have some different like statements in here. Paragraphs of text. Guiding principles. The intent of the policy is to provide general guidance on the use of AI so that you can leverage the use of AI as a tool while ensuring it continues to meet legal obligations and act in an ethical manner. Again, like, I don't know. This is also a really good example of how, like, if you look at some of the other different policies that we've reviewed, not only the ones that I drafted, but then also some of the other ones that are out there, this seems to be in a much different format. So I think definitely outlining some of the guiding principles may be important, but again, we have paragraphs of text here. It seems to be, somewhat overly technical in some aspects. And then also, again, it mentions the intent of this policy. That should be, defined in the purpose and scope. And the definitions at the top, which is not a bad thing whatsoever. The use of AI systems must be documented to capture. And this is also another highlight here. Must be, should be, required. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. And so Cam had mentioned that it's a good idea to have listed, though. And that was in regards to the policy for policies. Yeah, that was one of the big reasons why I wanted to share that, is because it's not a bad thing to have whatsoever. I mean, I think more companies should have a policy on policies. I'm not sure if they picked the name for that to, have some type of fun with it. Like maybe they should have done, policy management policy or something along those lines, maybe. But there's really good information in that, and we'll probably dig into that more here in a moment. Approval of AI systems does not eliminate the need for other internal approval requirements. Prohibited uses. So conducting political lobbying activities is prohibited. Lobbying is defined as any action aimed at influencing a government official, or government entity for any reason. That's kind of interesting. So representatives are prohibited from using AI systems for any of the following activities at any time. So you're not allowed to use AI for political lobbying. That's interesting. Using AI systems to identify or categorize students, candidates, employees, contractors, or other affiliate entities based on protected class status is prohibited. Now, one of the key words here, one of the key sections is that it says based on protected class status is prohibited. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't use the AI systems to identify or categorize these groups, but it says that you're not allowed to do it based on the protected class status. So that could be a number of different identifiers from many different realms. We had briefly talked about that before during one of the previous live streams on AI bias. And Jack Scott's has a really good video out there as well. Let me try to find that real quick. Worst case scenario, I could drop this into the Discord server afterwards, because there was a really good AI. Oh, here it is. So this video here, this one's only 18 minutes long. AI impacts on hiring. This is one of the videos, or this might be taken out of the video that I'm thinking of. But that is not a bad one at all. There's another more complete one that I was thinking of. Oh, here it is. So this is the complete video that I was thinking of. So bias and fairness in artificial intelligence. This is a 1-hour live stream that they did with Jax, where they talked about bias and fairness in AI. That is a very highly recommended video. A really awesome information. She shared tools and all kinds of different stuff in that as well. Definitely recommended in regards to this as well. Let me close some of this here. All right, so pushing through the rest of this. So entering trade secrets, confidential information. This is like one of the biggest concerning aspects of it, is people uploading source code, trade secrets, confidential information, personal data into AI systems. And right here, it actually states out open AI systems. Hopefully that's a little bit clear, more well-defined, but we'll move on there. Ethical guidelines, informed consent. Prior to inputting personal information into a closed AI system, ensure that you have obtained informed consent of individuals whose information will be inputted. So, like for an example, during the hiring process, maybe you're using AI to rank resumes or otherwise. Informed consent would be like, hey, by the way, when you upload your resume, we're going to run this through AI, to rank your information. It's not used for training, but here's a link to the privacy policy and, agree to allow us to do this or otherwise. Some states are also passing laws in regards to at least the hiring process for candidates and the use of AI as well. I believe Iowa is one of those states that have passed something in regards to that. Integrity and use. All users of AI systems should be honest about how AI helped in getting the work done. Even if using an AI system approved by the AI committee for approved use, you should ensure that your manager or the department requesting a task for which you are using AI systems is aware of the use of the AI system. Do not pass off AI generated work as done by you solely. Let's see. Yeah, and so it's also talking about, asking your manager and HR representative if you may use AI systems to assist in writing a performance evaluation or otherwise. So, I mean, this I think is definitely crucial to have within an AI use policy, the integrity aspect of it. And I've seen some companies where they, like for their social media, they'll actually put like a little disclaimer at the bottom that says, AI generated images or, optimized with AI or AI assisted content or whatever, just to make it clear that, hey, by the way, yes, we are leveraging AI, but there's been a human in the loop type of situation here as well. I think this is also a really good method moving forward. Like we've talked about it before, AI is a very awesome and useful tool in many different aspects, but also being transparent about that is valuable. I think that also comes from like a brand reputation standpoint. I believe this last Super Bowl, there was one of the companies that actually did 100% AI generated video ad. And they were very open about that aspect too, that it was completely AI generated. And my understanding is it was very successful as well. Somebody in chat probably knows which one I'm talking about. I remember reading about it. Appropriate content. Do not use company time or resources to generate content using an AI system that would be considered illegal, inappropriate, harmful to brand or reputation, or disrespectful to others. Unauthorized use. Do not use company time or resources to generate content using an AI system for personal use without prior approval of the appropriate department leader. And that's also stuff that would probably coincide with your acceptable use policy as well. High risk use of AI systems. That's an interesting title. So there are certain types of AI systems that are more high risk than others. As a global company is committed to complying with all AI legal requirements and guidance in the countries in which it operates. The EU has classified the following potential uses of AI as posing a high risk to the health and safety or fundamental rights of natural persons. Therefore, there are several additional requirements for the use of AI systems in such cases. Yeah, and I didn't even think about it, but I'm going to drop the direct link to this policy as well. Personal data in AI systems. AI should be used with extreme caution when inputting any personal data of an individual into a closed AI system. It is prohibited to put any personal data into an open AI system. And this is what I was saying is earlier it had mentioned closed AI system and not being allowed to do so. And now it's mentioning open AI system. So that may actually be a correction that needs to occur within this particular template. You can also see here that like formatting issues. So like all of these titles here are bolden, and then we have one not bold. AI should be used with caution when screening any job applicants to ensure it does not adversely impact protected class members or introduce any bias. And I think that's extremely difficult to do. So how are you going to go through and ensure that it does not adversely affect or base anything with bias? How are you going to do that? How are you going to guarantee that? I think that's a very interesting topic because AI in itself has already been proven to be biased. There are less biased models, and models that are designed to be more fair and not based off of different classes and so forth. But to be able to actually say, oh yeah, we know for 100% that it's not adversely impacting protected classes, I think would be very difficult to achieve. Some of the different numbers, like if you watch that AI bias and fairness video I dropped with Jack Scott, like I don't remember the exact numbers offhand, but a lot of these different models, they may, we're talking like in the 70s or 80% of not being biased. And that still remains, 1/5 of the responses are biased or otherwise. Or some of the different ratings there are tools out there already that are utilized to actually test to see what the fairness and bias of these AI chatbots and systems are. But still, none of them are 100%. And so I'm not sure how you would go about ensuring that it's not. Yeah, and so Jason mentions that he believes it was OpenAI ChatGPT that made the ad. I think there was another one too. I think there was like a beverage company, maybe it was Coca-Cola or somebody, that also made a Super Bowl ad of some sort, and they were using, I think it's called Sora or Sonora for OpenAI's video thing. And I'll transition over to this real quick. So Sora, and I'll drop a link to this as well. It literally, it makes like very realistic videos, or it's capable of doing so. And I think it's pretty neat. So you could see, like, you could do some pretty unrealistic things, but also some of these videos can come out pretty realistic looking. Like look at the bear. Like it's actually pretty crazy on how realistic a lot of this could come out. But you could do some really fun things with it as well. Now, I'm sure the pricing is pretty insane. They do have it included with ChatGPT Plus for very limited, and the $200 Pro. But I know that they also have like an API for it and so forth as well. But I believe this is what they used. I would not be surprised if OpenAI also did one during the Super Bowl. Yeah, and that's fair. Yeah, that's a good thing to mention too, is that SANS is labeling this doc as a standard and not a policy. Yeah, definitely still a good thing to mention too. So if we go back up to the top here, artificial intelligence standard. And we have a video on it. And then also, I think Simply Cyber has a video on the policies, standards, guidelines, the policies, standards, guidelines, procedures, and then guidelines. So like typically the standards and so forth is where you pull in the different frameworks as well, whereas the policies are at the top of the pyramid. I'm actually going to pull that open too. It's somewhere here. I know we did a video on that. I'm pretty confident we did a video on the policy standards, procedures, and guidelines. It's somewhere on our YouTube channel. I'm just not sure exactly where it's at right now. That's another one I could drop in Discord later as well. Cam, have you played with that at all? With Sora? And Josh does mention, however, self-refer in the text of this document as in this policy. So who knows? Yeah, and that's also a clear thing to also navigate here too, is that these are templates. So I'm not 100% clear on their guidelines and process for their policies. You can see here that this is coming off of their security policy templates page. They have some type of submission process as well. And like I already identified a couple different contradicting statements, some formatting and so forth. But yeah, it's neither here nor there. To be honest, like it seems like a lot of companies get confused just within the policies, standards, procedures realm of things in the first place. I think whatever works for the organization is what's best. Just, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, and so I was looking at this high risk use of AI systems. Personal decisions, AI should be used with caution for any use related to making decisions on promotions, retention, or similar personnel such decisions. Extreme caution should be utilized to ensure that biases, including biases found in existing data sets, are avoided. That's also another honorable mention too, is the OCEG has an awesome report on AI use in GRC. And that's another really good report that I've looked at before. So there was like a 2023 or 2024 report from the OCEG that talks about some of the different statistics on this. May be it. I'll drop the download research. I'll drop the link to this. I believe this is it, but I'm not 100%. Worst case scenario, let me know. Yeah, here it is. So the use of AI for GRC research from 2023, and they actually outlined in this document here that like an alarming amount of businesses are actually utilizing AI for decision making in business. So actual executive decisions and you know, like rolling out product use, hiring practices, all kinds of different stuff that they're already utilizing it for. I think it was like north of 40% of businesses were already doing that, and that was in 2023. And a lot of that they even admitted, because it was an anonymous study, I do believe, that they were not even approved AI use case. Let's see. Assessment of students. Any assessment of students in educational or vocational training institutions is considered high risk. Accordingly, extreme caution should be utilized before using any AI system intended to assess or evaluate any student participating in a course, taking an exam, or other evaluation or assessment. Isn't there, I think there was recently a certification. I think it's the TryHackMe SAL1 that has an entire AI based exam. So maybe somebody in chat who has taken that can confirm that. But that's my understanding, is that the exam is 100% AI based, which is definitely interesting, or at least graded by. general AI systems, system use standards and use approval, unlawful, unethical, transparency, necessary. The use of AI systems must be for valid business purposes to improve business efficiencies and support the organization's mission. I'm sure you guys heard about like Spotify's recent stance on AI, where they're doing like a hiring freeze and they're not hiring anybody else unless you can prove to them that AI cannot do that particular job role, which I think is also an interesting thing we could talk about. That would be probably a pretty good topic for this this Thursday, is our job readiness one. Yeah, and so I don't know if you're getting that directly out of the report there, Cam, or not, but yeah, like my memory of that report was like over 40% of businesses surveyed, and there was like, I think somewhere of like 300 to 500 businesses that were surveyed are already utilizing AI at the executive level and even for business decisions and so forth. And that was in 2020. That was the end of 2023. So a lot of those different things are not even, approved, which is also why it's so important in today's world to go through and make sure we have approved forms. Let's see. Cam mentions it has a pretty good capacity on the 20-month pro version. I used it for 8 to 10 second videos for longer videos before. One of his brothers clipped a bunch of clips together to create music videos. Yeah, I mean, I think it could definitely be a useful tool. I mean, and it's interesting to see how these AI tools are coming out. Yeah, and Brexy mentions that the SAL1 used AI to give you score on how well you write up the incident analysis report, but the score weight on that is low. So even if you write badly, it should not stop you from passing. Yeah, I have not personally gone and looked into the SAL1. So my understanding was that they did have AI use within the exam itself. But I'm pretty sure Brexy did pass that. And so like they're stating that it was just in regards to the write-up, which has a low weight anyways. I'm curious to see if they call out data usage within AI systems and or use of company IP or any form of sensitive data according to company data classification spec. That's a good mention too. I have not seen anything in here regarding intellectual property or data classification. So they do have this section that we were just going over for high risk use of AI systems for different categories, but they're not mentioning anything about data classification based on data classification or intellectual property. Training. Reporting non-compliance. Yeah, and like we're coming to an end on this now. AI techniques and approaches, machine learning, logical knowledge-based approaches, high-risk system requirements. Yeah, and I'll actually search. Yeah, nothing for data classification. And nothing for okay, so we do have this single mention for intellectual property. So creating intellectual property that your company desires to register and or hold significant value to the organization is within the prohibited uses category. But that is the only mention of intellectual property within this document. And then also there's no mention of data classification. So that should pretty much answer that portion of it. Yeah, personally, I think I would use this for reference, but I would not be utilizing this direct template here. And then we'll probably start bringing this to an end again. I'm going to go ahead and drop those links into the description following this live stream as well, especially that AI fairness and bias. I highly recommend. That's a really awesome stream that Jack Scotts did. And then we have the CISSP study group tonight at 6 p.m. Central. And then at 8 p.m. Central time is PBO going live for AWS config, was it? I'll go ahead and pull this up. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, concerns, anything else, definitely drop that in chat. I'm going to go ahead and pull this other link real quick before we bring this to a complete end. And of course, we also have our Discord server outside of these live streams as well. Have any of you guys implemented an AI policy yet? Or do you guys have a better example of one? I think one of the different benefits is there's so many different templates that are available out there for these different policies and a lot of real world examples that these companies publish. And I'm going to pull this up. So this is the video I was talking about earlier. I did drop this in chat. I'm going to drop it one more time for bias and fairness and artificial intelligence. Some really awesome information that was shared. Highly recommend checking that out. That is a 1-hour stream that they did. Thankfully, we're on the Study GRC channel and I can state it and so forth, but I was a member of ACI Learning previously. I am no longer. And I do not plan on getting their membership again. Brexy mentions I did 2 in the last 12 months. Is that in no AI use? Oh, one policy for no AI use, and then revised to include no company data feed to AI. So you completely just no-go nothing at all, which is interesting. It seems like more and more different companies are actually enforcing some level of AI use. I think Grammarly is another example of a company that has implemented AI use within the company and has procedures and processes built in with AI. And I'm sure there's a lot of other examples out there as well. Yeah, and also like what my goal is I wanted to start going through and actually showcasing a lot of these other examples that I based a lot of our policies on, because also at the end of this month, so we have 2 more streams in regards to policies, and then next week on Monday and Tuesday, and then probably that first full week of May is when I'll go through and publish all of the different drafts that I've developed for Study GRC, which I think is definitely useful and so forth. But these are a lot of the different policies that I used in the making of our drafts. So just showcasing ours, I believe, is a little bit unfair. But then also we can open that up and then everybody can do the review process for that as well. But I definitely wanted to show these other examples from SANS, from CIS, from GitLab, and a lot of these other ones that we're showcasing during these streams as well. But yeah, so go ahead, check out this bias and fairness. I'll see you guys at that CISSP study group tonight at 6 p.m. Central. And then no promises PBO, but maybe I'll make it to your late night show. KP asks, so when orgs use this template, do they need to give any credit or can they use freely? So that's a pretty valid question. So like you could see on here that SANS does have a copyright on this. Use of this content is subject to the terms and services for, and they provide a link there that's not clickable. Let me pull this up. So my understanding is you do have to provide some type of citation to the actual document itself. And I believe that is just professional use. So if you actually take this policy, I think I have it up. Yeah, here we go. So what I was trying to show you a moment ago is that they do have this copyright down here for SANS Institute. All rights reserved. The use of this content subject to the terms and conditions. I do believe you do need to provide citation or otherwise, but it's also based on a level of fair use. In the United States, I highly recommend you to go through and read up some of the laws and regulations regarding fair use and so forth, because there's a difference between going through this policy and picking and prodding at like, oh, I like that idea. Oh, I think that's a good way to put it. Or, oh, this is a list of things I don't want because of reviewing this policy. And then utilizing that to influence your policy development. That is one method, and that's primarily the route that I took, is like for the artificial intelligence policy, for an example, this is only one of the 10 different documents that I reviewed for example. And so instead of, if I were to just take this template by itself and download the document for it, and then just replace your company name or take large sections of this out, then that's when you would need to 100% go through and provide citations. I am not an attorney or a lawyer of any sort. Definitely seek your own legal aid. But yeah, so basically, in short, there's a difference between reading the policies and learning from it to influence your policy development at a later time or otherwise, and actually taking the template and putting your information in. If you were to just take the template, then yes, I think it's only ethically correct to provide some type of citation like they have here in the bottom footer. Yep, looking forward to the streams tonight. I do hope to catch PBO's stream, but that is a late night show, of course. But yeah, thank you guys for hopping in. You guys have a great rest